Every card in the new set just got leaked, and I'm feeling like a kid on Christmas Day again, opening all the presents. Hello, I'm PokeGad. I'm uploading daily Pokemon Pocket content. You might have already seen all the cards, but I just want to share my opinion and my personal thoughts on the new cards. And this video is going to be containing spoilers, so if you don't want to see any new cards, probably close this video now. So let's start with Pinsir with X Scissor, 3 grass energy for probably if you flip heads, 100 damage for 3 energy. Maybe if you ramp it with a baby Pokemon, but HP is low, high cost energy, and probably pair it up with a wheel. This is probably mid. Mega Pinsir EX is a little bit better actually. Better HP, better damage overall, but still, if you lose this guy, you lose the game. What I'm noticing is that this Pinsir has exactly the same move, but with a little bit less damage. This is very interesting actually, because this Pinsir might be an Oricorio killer. Ooh, we are receiving a Beautifly line with Skill Dive, 1 grass energy. This attack does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Really good overall. Pair it up with Lilligant that we saw on the trailer. It has 170, and with the Leaf Cape 200. That's a lot of HP actually. But the attack is not that good. I don't think we're going to be seeing any Beautiflies. But we also receive a Dustox. And you know what? Maybe this deck with Wurmple, 1 Beautifly and 1 Dustox might be interesting actually. I really like these split evolution decks. The same goes with Vileplume and Bellossom. And this Dustox has the same HP, but the attack is Select Powder for 60. Choose either Poisoned or Confused. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now affected by the special condition. Okay, this is really spicy actually, because you can always Poison on the first turn, and if the Pokemon doesn't switch out, you can always Confuse. This is very interesting actually. Oh, and we receive a Seedot Nuzleaf and Swifttree line. Nipping Cyclone for 70. Discard the random card from your opponent's hand. Again, high HP, paired up with a Lilligant that we'll see in a while. It's going to be really tanky, but I think we're going to be seeing Mega Blaziken in CX and also Crimson Charizard paired with the Flame Patch. So I don't think the meta is going to be having a lot of grass decks actually. We also receive a Breloom with Seed Bomb and 40. I'm really hoping for a Breloom EX on the next expansion, because we didn't receive it on this one. Breloom is really cool Pokemon. I don't know why they give it such low damage move. We also have a Simisage. Fury Swipes, flip 3 coins. This attack does 40 damage for its heads. This might be good. Probably a troll deck. Pair it up with this Lilligant that buffs the HP. But I don't find much usage, because you're flipping coins, and if you are the one flipping the coins, probably you'll get tails every time. We also have a Whimsicott EX 140. That's actually not that high for an EX Pokemon, but it's a stage 1 Pokemon, and you can also pair it up with the Lilligant. I know that I'm spamming this Lilligant, but I'm really hyped for that Pokemon. Whimsicott EX has for 2 grass energies, Grass Knot 40 plus. This attack does 30 more damage for each energy in your opponent's active Pokemon's retreat cost. Let's see what high retreat Pokemon we might receive. I think Mega Gyarados has 3 retreat cost, so this move is going to be dealing 130, and this is really good. You have to also remember that grass Pokemon, if they are stage 1, have also the help of Erika that heals 50 HP. And also, if we're talking about a stage 2 Pokemon like Dustox here, you also have the choice of including a Lily that heals 60 damage of a stage 2 Pokemon. So I'm really hyped for this Dustox actually. And finally, we are seeing the MVP for me for the grass category. That's Lilligant with the ability of a Toughness Aroma that each of your grass Pokemon gets plus 20 HP. It's a giant cape for everyone. And also this ability works while being on the bench. So I'm really hyped for that. Maybe you can also pair it up with Genetic Apex Venusaur. We didn't receive a Mega Venusaur EX yet, but I'm really hyped for this Lilligant because you are able to build a lot of grass decks. It's a really good buffer, actually. We also have a Maractus for Dazzle Dance. See, your opponent active Pokemon is not confused. That's very mid. We also have a Virizion. Sacred Sword for 110. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't use Sacred Sword. I don't really like that. We also have another Go-Goat. I think it's the third we've received so far with double edge. 100 damage. This Pokemon also does 20 damage to itself. Okay. You know what? We probably won't receive it this set, but I'm really hoping for an item card like a Muscle Band or something like that that buffs, that it's a free Giovanni every turn that deals plus 10 damage every turn, actually. This Go-Goat, maybe paired up with a Lilligant and a Leaf Cape and also Erika's, might be good. I'm really hyped to try that, actually. We also have another Trevenant that, with the ability of Horn Leech, 60 damage, heal 20 damage from this Pokemon. If it had a little bit more HP, I think this would be probably above average, but I don't think it's going to be receiving any playtime. We also have a Twoki. I don't really know how to pronounce that, but it evolves into Rillaboom, 150 HP, stage 2, with the ability of Captivating Rhythm. Once during your turn, you may flip a coin. If heads, switch in one of your opponent's bent Pokemon to the active spot. So it's pretty much like the ability of Victory Bell, but with a coin flip. So you probably want to be including a wheel into the deck. Actually, it doesn't say that you have to have this Pokemon into the in the active spot. So you can also have 2 Rillabooms on your bench and just have free Sabrina every turn. Interesting. But requiring 4 energy only for 120 while being a stage 2, it's probably kind of mid with a high retreat cost too. I don't know. And that pretty much sums up the whole grass category. Moving on to the fire one. We have a new Arcanine, 120, Fire Fang, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. I think it's the best basic Arcanine we've received so far. This is a very good ability, but I don't quite like this retreat cost. Every Arcanine we've received so far is a little bit mid, actually. I'm really hoping for a good Arcanine EX in the next couple of sets. We also have a Rapidash EX. What is this pose? It's like that. Remember this, because it's an EX, doesn't work with Blaine. Sprinting Flare, 110. This attack also does 20 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Okay, we can speed it up a little bit with the inclusion of Magby. And also you can pair it up with the Moltres EX. I really want to try that, actually. 150 HP is a little bit better than the Arcanines we've had so far. And of course, Mega Blaziken EX, we've already seen that. Mega Burning 120, discard 1 fire energy from this Pokemon. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. I think Mega Blaziken EX is going to be getting a lot of playtime, actually. Probably the pack that everyone opens. But we also have a basic Blaziken with Blaze Kick, 100 damage. Discard a fire energy from this Pokemon. This is a really good Oricorio counter. And what I really like about all these Mega Pokemon is that we also receive a basic version of it with a little bit less damage, but pretty much the same move, so I'm really liking that. Actually, this Blaziken might be really good with Flame Patch. That's an item that you can attach 1 fire energy from your discard pile. Probably is going to be really interesting if you pair it up with a Kiawe and a Turtonator from previous packs. You can also include Elemental Sweets or a Magby. This Blaziken is going to be really fast. I'm really liking this one better than Mega Blaziken EX actually. Of course, you want to be including one Mega Blaziken EX on your deck too, but if you lose him, you lose the game. And we also get a basic Ho-Oh with Blessed Burn. Heal 30 damage from each of your banned basic Pokemon. Huh. While only running a Fire Energy, this might be interesting in a deck with the Ho-Oh EX and Magby, or even Moltres EX. I like it. We also have a Simisear, of course. Few swipes, it's exactly the same attack with Simisades that we've seen before. We have a Darmanitan. Darmani Hands, 80 plus, flip 2 coins. This attack does 30 more damage for its heads. Requiring 4 energies is a little bit mid. Also a very high retreat cost, low HP, we also have a Sandelier with the ability of Slow Seer. Once during your turn, you may discard the top card of your opponent's deck and also hit Blast for 80. 2 fire energies. This is interesting. This is probably going to be very fitting into a troll deck. We also receive a Hitmore, 80 HP, Tongue Whip. This attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's best Pokemon. Okay, also a baby killer, just like Jirachi. You can kill these babies while they are on the bench. We get a Pyroar, Fire Blast, 130. Discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon. Okay, you can also pair it up with a Flame Patch and have the same synergy as I said before for Blaziken. This is interesting. It has a low HP stat because Megas are included in the game now, but this might be interesting. We're also receiving another Tertonator with low HP, high retreat cost, and the attack of Cell Trap 40 during your opponent's next turn. If this Pokemon is damaged by an attack, do 20 damage to the attacking Pokemon. So it's like a Dradigon, but you have to attack first. You can also, with the inclusion of Kiawe, you can also include this Tertonator in every deck, because Kiawe just attaches 2 fire energies onto a Tertonator without requiring to have it on your energy zone. I think the other Tertonator that discards an energy is a little bit better with dealing 90 damage. And that includes the whole fire category. Moving on to the water category, we're receiving a new Psyduck. And I think I like the old Psyduck a little bit more, because the attack has an ability. We're also receiving, of course, a new Golduck, the same HP stat, and the attack 1 energy 50. I think I also like the other Golduck better, because he's able to deal 70 damage. And now moving on to the new Magikarp that has the ability of Waterfall Evolution. Put a random card from your deck that evolves from this Pokemon onto this Pokemon to evolve it. So, if you attack with this Magikarp, you evolve instantly into your Gyarados without the requirement of having it on your hand. So it just searches for a Gyarados on your deck and just attaches on top of this card. I think it's the best Magikarp actually we have received yet. And of course, we're receiving not only Mega Gyarados EX that we've already seen, Mega Blaster 140, discard the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. This is really troll actually, I like it. But we're also receiving a basic Gyarados, 4 energies, Hammering Tail 100 damage, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. And the good thing about this Gyarados is that it's an Oricorio counter actually. But I don't think you want to be including this Gyarados to be an Oricorio counter. Maybe you only want to be playing this Mega Gyarados EX, and maybe include the other Gyarados that discards your bends. I don't think this Gyarados is better than the other ones. And we also get a Ludicolo. What a beautiful art. 140 HP, Rhythmic Steps, 60 plus. If you have exactly 1, 3 or 5 cards in your hand, this attack does 60 more damage. Oh, this is not a good card, but I'm really liking the effect. I don't know. I definitely want to try it. This is really cool. And it fits perfectly with Ludicolo's character. Ooh, Whalmare. And also a Wailord, of course, with Stage 1 Pokemon with an HP stat of 200. This is amazing. Probably I want to be pairing up with a basic Gyarados that discards events. Whale Pump for colorless energies. 60 plus. This attack does 10 more damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. Okay, when I saw the cost, I immediately thought of Hoa. But now that it requires water energy, I'm probably thinking a Manaphy, a Mantike, and a Misty high roll deck. This is going to be very fun, actually. I definitely wanted to try that. With a Giant Cape, it goes up to 220, and also you have the support of Irda. Nice. The retreat cost is, of course, a downside, but you always have the option to include a Lyra in your deck. We have a new Crodont with 3 energies, Guillotine 90. I really like the other Crodon that has the ability of removing 1 energy when you evolve. Love Disc, Paired Tackle. If you have exactly 2, 4, or 6 cards in your hand, this does 30 more damage. Okay, you probably want to be pairing it up with the Ludicolo. Nice. This is probably a troll deck that I really want to try. And we all, of course, receive a Simipour, Fury Swipe, the same attack, a Seismitoad, 150 HP, Split Spiral Punch. Your opponent active Pokemon is now confused. 90 damage for 3 energies. Of course, you can ramp it up with a baby Pokemon with a Manaphy or a Mantike. But I don't think this is a good card. And of course, we receive a Tirtoga that evolves into a Caracosta that also has a supporter that heals 70 damage from your Caracosta. So this is going to be really tanky. Blocking Cell, 100 damage, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from basic Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. I think it's going to be really good. And we also get a Jellicent with the ability Bouncy Body. If this Pokemon is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, take a water energy from your energy zone and attach it to one of your benched Pokemon. This is really good to start ramping up this Caracosta that requires 3 energy. It is able to deal 60 damage with Surf. Let me find the supporter. I'm talking about this guy that is able to heal 70 damage from one of your Caracosta or Jellicent. So you probably want to be pairing them up. Nice. This is a deck that I really want to try. We have a Keldeo, Sacred Sword 110. During your next turn, this Pokemon can use Sacred Sword. I'm not liking that, as I didn't like Virizion 2. But this Keldeo also has the support of a Mantike, so this might be interesting. New Froakie, new Frogadier, Bounce. Switch this Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon, and we receive a Greninja EX. Yeah, being terrorized by the basic Greninja wasn't enough. So we also received the Greninja EX. 170 HP, really high. Once during your turn, you may switch your active water Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. So it's like the ability of Celesteela. And 2 water energies, Aqua Edge, 100 damage. I think this Pokemon is going to be a little bit better than the basic Greninja, actually, with the ability. We have an Avalag, 140, 3 energies, Frost Barrier, 70 damage. During your opponent next turn, this Pokemon takes minus 20 damage from attacks. High retreat cost. This is mid. New Dreadnought, Jaw Lock, 70 damage. During your opponent next turn, the defending Pokemon can retreat. I'm really liking trapping abilities, but this Dreadnought doesn't have a high HP stat to be able to receiving a few hits. Maybe with a Giant Cape that goes up to 150 in the support of Irida, but I definitely want to try that. We have a Barraskewda, Double Edge, 2 energies, 80 damage. This Pokemon also does 20 damage to itself. A good early attacker, but of course with really low HP stat. But you are able to heal it with Erika. Interesting. Ace Q, ability Ice Face. If this Pokemon has full HP, it takes minus 40 damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. A really good starting tank to start building the other Pokemon on your bench. it's able to tank a lot of damage and also supported with Irida. This is interesting. I think this Pokemon might be one of the Pokemon that we don't mention enough until everyone starts including it. Maybe I would include it in a Wailord deck to be able to tank until I've built my Wailord on the bench. And we start the lightning category with Jolteon EX. That's awesome. And I think the only evolution that hasn't received an EX yet is Vaporeon. So I'm really waiting for that. This Jolteon EX has the ability of Electromagnetic Wall. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, whenever your opponent attaches an energy from their energy zone to one of their Pokemon, do 20 damage to that Pokemon. Will that also work with abilities? I'm thinking of Gardevoir's ability. I'm thinking of course, Giratina's ability. I'm also thinking of Manaphy's ability that attaches 2 energies on the bench. And of course, Ho-Oh's ability that attaches 3 energies. So Lugia is going to be receiving 60 damage. And then you will probably kill it on the next turn because you deal 100 damage. If you also play a red. I think this Jolteon EX is really good actually. It's very fast to retreat. Only 1 retreat cost and 2 energies to attack. I'm really hyped for this one. Of course, we have a Mega Ampharos EX, Lightning Lancer, 100 damage. One of your opponent's bench Pokemon is chosen at random 3 times. For each time a Pokemon was chosen, also do 20 damage to it. And I'm really hyped for this Ampharos because it's able to deal 160 damage on the board. If you know me, you know that I'm a huge fan of Raichu that is able to deal 120 across the board, 60 on the active and 20 for each benched Pokemon. So I really like this Mega Ampharos EX. I don't think it's mentioned enough. And of course, I'm really liking the basic Ampharos that has exactly the same ability, but it deals 90 damage on the active Pokemon, and one of your opponent's benched Pokemon is chosen at random, and it deals 20 damage. I think this Ampharos, it's not that good. I prefer the Paralyzed one that we received on the previous set, but Mega Ampharos EX is going to be really powerful. We also get a new Luxray. Flash Impact, 2 energies, 110 damage. This attack also does 20 damage to one of your benched Pokemon. Oh, your benched Pokemon. So you can pair it up with the Boltund that if it has damage, it's able to attack with 1 energy. Or you can pair it up with Raichu, the one we received on Arceus pack that has the ability of not taking damage if Arceus is on the play. So maybe this Luxury actually, if it's paired up with Raichu and Arceus, is going to be really good. I love the 0 retreat cost. 0 retreat cost and only 2 energies to deal 110 damage. Okay, this Luxury might be one of my favorite Pokemon we've seen on this set. We have another Pachirisu, Attack the Wound. Of course, it deals 30 more damage if the active Pokemon has damage on it. We have a new Zubstrika, Electric Ball, 3 energies for 90. Nah. You can speed it up with Pichu, but 3 energies for 90 is not that good. New Joltik, new Galvantula, Electro Ball 50 for 1 energy and 0 retreat cost. I love 0 retreat cost Pokemon. Yeah, this is very fast. We also have a new Boltund, 60 for 2 energies. And we also get a new Dedenne. I think it's pronounced Dedenne. Electric Nibbling, 20 damage. Discard a lightning energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. Okay, this, because it has a colorless energy, might be interesting to slow down other lightning decks, but I don't think this Dedenne is going to be played. And that includes the whole lightning category, and we move on to Psychic. New Xatu, Zen Headbutt, 3 energies, 2 colorless though, for 80 damage. I prefer the other Xatu that gets the active Pokemon at 10 HP. We have a new Misdreavus. You know what? I'm going to be pronouncing the names wrong. Sue me. Actually don't. But write me down below the correct pronunciation. Double spin, 20x, flip to coins. This attack does 20 damage for its heads. Okay, and we receive a new Miss Magius. Spooky Shot for 70, but Miss Magius is also receiving the help of a supporter card. Fantina, take a psychic energy from your energy zone and attach it to each of your Driftblim and Miss Magius. Nice! So you are able to produce 2 psychic energies in 1 round. This is interesting. I don't think this Miss Magius is good. This deck might be really fast. Let me see what Driftblim does. 100 HP Balloon Barrage. This attack does 20 more damage for its energy attached to this Pokemon. Oh, and it's also colorless. For its energy, it doesn't say that it requires psychic energy. So you can probably pair it up with Hoa, that is able to produce a lot of energies. Or maybe pair it up with a Misty also, that... you know, this might be interesting. It also has my hair, so I'm really liking this art. But this might be interesting, actually, with also the inclusion of the supporter. So you want Miss Magius to attack fast, while you also build Driftblim in the back. This is interesting. This is interesting. We also receive a Sableye, Dare to Throw, 70 for 2 energies. Discard a card from your hand. If you can, this attack does nothing. Okay, this might be interesting in a deck with Sylveon EX, that you have a lot of cards in hand. Is able to deal 70 damage for only 2 energies is good. We'll of course have a Mega Altaria EX. This attack does 30 more damage for each of your best Pokemon. And before I continue showing you the other Psychic Pokemon, I want to show you this Pokemon first, just to have it in your mind while we discuss Psychic Pokemon. And I'm talking about Aegislash, that has the ability of Cursed Metal. Attacks used by your Psychic Pokemon and Metal Pokemon do plus 30 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So that Miss Magius that is only dealing 70 damage is going to be able to deal up to 130 damage. And of course, the same goes for this Mega Altaria EX, that if you have a full bench, you can deal up to 130, and with 2 Aegislashes on your bench, being able to deal 190 damage. This is amazing. Only 2 energies. This is going to be very satisfying. And of course, the same goes onto this Sableye. We are receiving a new Dusknoir, 150 HP, ability Fade into Darkness. When this Pokemon is knocked out, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent can't get any points for it. This is amazing. Okay, you know what? I think I like the other Dusknoir that heals a little bit more, but maybe you can pair it up on a Psychic Steel deck. And you can also include this Necrozma into the deck, because he is able to use Psychic and Metal Energy, but you probably won't because this card is trash. But yeah, this Dusknoir is spicy, but I don't think having 2 Stage 2 Pokemon in the same deck is good. So yeah, Star Drop. This attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. And if you have 2 Aegislashes, you can deal 90 damage, but only on the active Pokemon. This is basically a baby killer that is able to snipe babies on the bench. And of course, we've already seen this Driftblim. Tinkling, 30 damage. Jingly Noise, 10 damage. During your opponent's next turn, they can't play any item cards from their hand. So this shuts down rare candies and probably win 1 or 2 turns to kill the other Pokemon and don't let them evolve into their Omegas. This is actually quite a troll card. I want to try it. We have a Cofagrigus to 120 HP, Soul Shot, 2 energies, 120 damage. Discard 2 cards from your hand. If you can't discard 2 cards, this attack does nothing. Okay, hear me out. 2 Cofagrigus, 2 Sylveon EXs, and 2 Sableyes. You know what? I might be cooking. This Cofagrigus is amazing. 2 energies for 120 damage. Nice. And also you can pair it up with Dusknoir, right? that is able to heal damage. I don't know if you want, but you can also pair it up with this Galarian Kersola with the ability of Paris Body. If this Pokemon is in the active spot and is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, flip a coin. If heads, the attacking Pokemon is knocked out. Oh, this also might be good with Aegislash, right? Being able to deal 120 while having this ability is not to be ignored, actually. Let's continue. We have Gothitelle with the move Stellar Cradle, 70 damage. During your opponent's next turn, if they attach energy from her energy zone to the defending Pokemon, that Pokemon will be asleep. Ooh. Oh, this is very interesting. Okay, we are receiving a lot of interesting psychic Pokemon. This is very interesting. But you have to attack first, and it has a low HP stat. But I definitely want to try that. We have an Aromatisse, Confounding Cologne. 40 damage, your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. I don't really like confusion that much in Pokemon Pocket. Corongard, Swirlix. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes minus 20 damage from attacks. We also have a Slurpuff. Training Keys, heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. I think I like Switch Relay, Swirlix and Slurpuff more. We have a Carbink, Guard Press, minus 30 from attacks. Klefki, the ability Dismantling Keys. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may discard all Pokemon tools from your opponent's active Pokemon if you do discard this Pokemon. So, actually this is a free Gazma, right? Okay, this might become handy actually. This is interesting. And we also get an EX, Indeedee EX, and 138 HP. Ability, What's Over. Once during your turn, you may heal 20 damage from your active Pokemon. Oh no, oh no, 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 no. This is going to be included 100% onto Espeon EXs and Sylveon EX decks. I don't like that. And also has an attack Psychic 30 plus. This attack does 30 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Oof, this is going to be really good. Espeon EX and Sylveon EX are going to be receiving a lot of healing. You probably want to have Espeon EX on the active spot, one Sylveon EX on your bench and two Indeedees, or even not have Sylveon EX and have two Espeon EXs to switch between them and heal every turn. Yeah, you probably want to have a Pokemon that is able to one-shot this Pokemon, so probably deal up to 160 damage. And that includes the Psychic category. We are receiving a new Sandslash that is just like Primeape we've received so far, and I think Medicham that have an HP stat of 90 and is able to deal 50 with one attack. This is interesting. Hitmonchan EX, 130 HP, one attack, 50 damage. This attack's damage isn't affected by weakness. Oh, you know what? Maybe you played with Lucarias on the bench to be able to deal with one energy up to 90 damage. And actually this is very interesting. I think this is a good fighting basic. I'm really liking that fighting either have one energy requirement or 100 energy requirements, while we don't have a fighting ramp card. Low retreat cost on 2. We get a new Sudowoodo. Fight back. Okay, it has the same ability as the promo Primeape. If this Pokemon has damage on it, this attack does 50 more damage. Really good. And just like I said, Makuhita 3 energies, Hariyama 4 energies, slapping knockdown 110 damage. Before doing damage, discard all Pokemon tools from your opponent's active Pokemon. Also 4 retreat cost. Of course, you can play it with a Lyra, but I don't quite like that. It's a stage 2, but fighting doesn't have either a ramp or a good heal card, so I don't think this Pokemon is going to be good. Maybe if you pair it up with Lucario to buff his damage up to 150, but again, you know, it's a free Gazma, but it requires a lot of energies. We get a new Hippowdon, Crushing Fangs, 100 damage, flip a coin. If tails during your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. Okay, you probably want to be including Will in your deck, but 3 energies for 100 damage, 1 colorless though, so you can maybe include a Mantike in deck. to not only speed the build up, but also be able to include Irida in your deck and heal a little bit of damage. But this HP is not that high, and it also, of course, has 4 retreat costs, just like most fighting Pokemon. New Crocodile, Chomp Bite, 90 damage, flip a coin until you get tails. For its heads, discard a random energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. You know what? I think this Crocodile is the best we've received so far. Very high HP stat for not being any X, 160. Of course, you can, as I said before, you can speed it up with the Mantike, and also the inclusion of water energy opens up the possibility of playing Irida and healing 40 damage. This Crocodile, if you pair it up with Wheel, I think is very good. It's like a non-EX Beedrill. I definitely want to try that Crocodile. We have an Archeops, Wild Spin. This attack does 20 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. During your next turn, this Pokemon Wild Spin attack does plus 20 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. So you deal 20 damage across the board, and then 40 damage across the board, and then does it stack? Or it caps at 40 damage. But 40 damage across the board is, with a full bench, is 160. This is very interesting. The good thing about this Archeops is that if they have baby Pokemon on the bench, or even if they want to start building up onto their Magikarp, this Archeops is going to be killing them in 2 turns. Does Lucario work with this Archeops to at least buff the basic attack up to 60? And on the next turn up to 80. If yeah, this is going to be really good. If not, it has its place, but I don't think it's going to be really good. We have a new Golurk, Heavy Rocket 60, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. This attack does 60 damage for each Pokemon with a retreat cost of 3 or more you find there. Shuffle the revealed cards back into your deck. This Golurk is going to be able to deal up to 120, and also if you pair it up with a Lucario, up to 160, with only requiring 2 energies. Of course, it has a high retreat cost, but this is interesting. We have a Terrakion, Sacred Sword, 110. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't use Sacred Sword. This is probably like a finisher. I think it has its uses. Maybe if you want to fill anywhere a basic Pokemon that can deal up to 110, Terrakion, Virizion, and Keldeo are going to be probably a little bit good. We get a Pancham, but its evolution is going to be a little bit further down. We have a new Crabominable, Last Chance Punch, 30 plus. If this Pokemon remaining HP is 30 or less, this attack does 60 more damage. It's able to deal up to 90 with 1 energy. Of course, every time you see a stage 1 or a basic fighting, you instantly think of Lucario supporting him from the bench. So he's able to deal up to 130 with 1 energy. This is very powerful. But it has a low HP stat, so I don't think it's going to be that much use. We get a new Beware, Heavy Impact, 3 energies for 90. Meh. Sandygast with Sand Attack, and Palos Sand with Life Sucker. Of course, he's able to be ramped with a baby Pokemon. It has 1 colorless. 70, heal 20 damage from this Pokemon. And of course, you have the option of playing this Acerola that takes the damage of one of your Palos and or Mimikyu and move it to the opponent's active Pokemon. So you are able to deal up to 110 damage. This might be good, we'll see. We have a Rolycoly and a Carkol. And here's a Colossal, Cold Drop, 3 energy, 100 plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a grass Pokemon, this attack does 50 more damage. And of course, this is very good because it has a grass weakness, but it has a very, very high retreat cost. Of course, you want to be playing it with Lyra, and maybe with Golurk. Actually, you might want to have a deck with high retreat cost Pokemon to power up this Golurk, and maybe pair it up with May that shuffles your Pokemon onto your deck. Okay, I might be cooking. We'll see. And that includes fighting category. Moving on to Dark, new Murkrow, new Honchkrow, Evil Admonition. 40 plus, this attack does 40 more damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play that has an ability. Damn! This is going to be ultra powerful against Giratina Darkrai decks. For 2 colorless, you are able to deal 160 damage. This is crazy. He's able to one-shot both Giratina and Darkrai. This is going to be very situational, but I'm really liking it because, of course, you want to be including as many Pokemon that have abilities in your deck. It's either a Suicune EX Greninja or a Darkrai Giratina or a Mythical Beast Solgaleo decks that we've seen a lot of in the meta. This Honchkrow actually is going to be, I think it's going to be really good. It's fast, it has 2 retreat cost, yeah, but it's able to deal a lot of damage. We all, of course, get a new Absol that is like baby Mega Absol EX. Mega Absol has Darkness 80 damage. Your opponent reveals their hands, choose a supporter you find there and discard it. And of course, the same ability goes for the basic Absol. Flip a coin. So it's not 100%, but it is with the inclusion of Wheel. If heads, your opponents reveal their hand, choose a supporter card you find there and discard it. This might be good with also the inclusion of Dark Pennant in your deck. We have a new Skorupi, Drapion, Stun Poison. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned and paralyzed. Guys, pair it up with Wheel. Pair it up with 2 Legos on your bench and Wheel. It might have a high retreat cost that you can, of course, not care if you also include Lyra in your deck. But this, being able to stun the active Pokemon and also poison it, it's able to deal 80 and then is able to deal 110 damage for 3 energies. You can also pair it up with Pichu and Zeraora and Elemental Switch onto your Drapion, but I'm really hyped for this Drapion. Damn, I'm really liking the double special condition cards. Poison and Paralyzed, nice. New Darkrai, Shadowcade 70. It's like the Arbok from Genetic Apex. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can retreat. It's okay. Maybe we see Darkrai and Darkrai X decks that you trap with this Darkrai and then do more damage with loading up Darkrai X on the back, or even pair it up with Tyranitar to move your Darkness energy onto whichever Pokemon you might need. I don't quite like this Darkrai. I think the Sleep non-EX Darkrai is a little bit better. We get a Hydreigon, of course, that once during your turn you may take 2 Darkness energies from your energy zone and attach it to this Pokemon. If you do 30 damage to this Pokemon, of course, but you discard all energies. I think what you want to do is maybe having 2 Hydreigons on your bench, 1 Tyranitar up front, and move all the energies onto him. And then, of course, you can Lyra into this Hydreigon and deal 130. This is going to be interesting, but the inclusion of 2 Stage 2 Pokemon on your deck might lead to a few bricks. Here's Pangoro, Overdrive Smash 30. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon Overdrive Smash does plus 30 damage. This is situational. And we have a Dragalge EX, 150 HP, but with the ability of Poison Point. If this Pokemon is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, the attacking Pokemon is now poisoned. 2 energies, 80 damage, but you can pair it up with Toxapex that is able to deal 120 damage, just like a Mac we've received, and Clodsire EX with the attack of Venoshock. 120 damage for 2 energies is amazing. You can also include a Salandit with Venoshock. This is interesting. I think these 2 Pokemon might be really good in the meta. I'm really liking this Dragalge X and Toxapex. This is going to be very interesting. And we get a Grim Snarl, 160 HP, rack down 100 for 3 Darkness energies. 3 energies without the ability to ramp. Maybe he has a supporter that I haven't seen. I don't quite like that. High retreat cost, low damage, no colorless energy, high energy requirement. This is mid. New Ferrothorn, Guard Press 50. During your opponent's turn, this Pokemon takes minus 20 damage from attacks. 2 metal energies. You are able to be really quick while you attack with this Ferrothorn, but high retreat cost. I think Ferrothorn with the ability, I think this Ferrothorn with the ability of Steel Spikes is a little bit better, because we also don't have any way, except of course the basic heals, to heal metal Pokemon. We have a new Durant, but together, if Durant is on your bench, this attack does 40 more damage. You know what? Actually, with the inclusion of baby Pokemon, this is very, very fast, low retreat cost, and well, it works like a Passimian, basic Passimian that we received a few sets back. This is good. This is interesting. 80 damage for only 2 energies is really good. Cobalion, of course, the same attack as the Virizion, Terrakion, and Keldeo. And of course, Aegislash. If you have 2 Aegislashes in play, you are able to deal 130 damage for 3 energies. But what I'm really hyped about is that this works for every Psychic and Metal Pokemon that we have in game. So that means this Durant that is able to deal 140 for only 2 energies, or this Metal EX 170 HP, really beefy. Of course, he can ramp himself with the ability of Meltan that we have a few sets back, and also the inclusion of a colorless energy, Metal Arms 100 plus. If this Pokemon has a Pokemon tool attached, this attack does 50 more damage, so 150 damage. If you want to pair it up with Aegislashes, this goes up to 210 damage, and you can also include this Pokemon tool. If the Pokemon discarded is attached to has a retreat cost of 3 or more, it takes minus 20 damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. And of course, this also works with Golem that we have with the ability of Guard Press, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, you can also pair it up with Steel Apron, that the metal Pokemon this card is attached to takes minus 10 damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon, recovers from all special conditions, and can be affected by any special conditions. So I think this Metal EX is going to be really good, actually. I think the best Metal we had so far in the game. And also, what I want to talk about is this Aegislash is probably going to be played with the basic Skarmory and Skarmory EXs, because they are very, very quick and are able to deal a lot of quick damage. I'm really hyped. I think Aegislash, 2 basic and 2 Skarmory EXs is going to be very, very good and fast. And we also have a Corviknight, 140 HP, Iron Wings, 100 damage. Discard 2 metal energies from this Pokemon. During your opponent's turn, this Pokemon takes minus 50 damage from attacks. There is no way to ramp metal energy except Meltan, and it's not even that good of a damage. And that pretty much sums up metal category. Moving on to Dragon, we have a new Dragon with what a wonderful art. Giga Claw, 4 energies, 120, flip 2 coins. If both of them are tails, this attack does nothing. Oh, you probably want to be including both a Magby and a Mantike, also Water and Fire. Maybe a Terminator and a Kiawe and Elemental Suites. This might be interesting, but I think the other Dragon is a little bit better, with requiring 3 energies and also do 20 on the attacking Pokemon. But let's see. This might be good. And of course, a Gudra. Gumi, the sticky membrane. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, attacks used by your opponent's active Pokemon cost 1 colorless energy more. This is interesting. Okay, and we have Psychic and Water Energy. Psychic and Water Energy. So Gudra is going to be able to heal with Irida. Also Spiral Drain. Heal 40 damage from this Pokemon. This might be interesting. Water and Psychic. Of course, you want to be including a Mantike. Of course, maybe only Mantike and play only Psychic Energy. This is interesting. I don't think it's going to be changing anything in the meta, but it's definitely something that I want to try. Moving on to a new Pidgeot, 150 Twister, flip 2 coins. For each heads, discard the random energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. If both of them are tails, this attack does nothing. This is another troll Pidgeot card, but I think it's really good actually. You know, you can always play it with Will, It's very fast. It's able to be, of course, being a colorless Pokemon, able to be built with a baby Pokemon. It only deals 80, but you also discard energy. Maybe pair it up not only with a Will, but with Team Rocket Grunt. This is going to be a Rage Pidgeot. I think one of these Pidgeots that switch out the opponent's active Pokemon to the bench. And of course, 2 Pidgeot EXs might be good. And now I'm really waiting for a Mega Pidgeot EX. Probably has higher damage and maybe the same ability if we ever receive one. But we receive a Tauros EX, Wild Tackle, 90 damage, flip a coin. If tails, this Pokemon also does 30 damage to itself. Okay, and I think this is the best Tauros we have in game. Also, don't forget that colorless Pokemon also have the option to Ilima and take the basic Pokemon onto your hand. This is good. I'm really liking this Tauros. Of course, finally he receives a good card, but I think this is probably the best Eevee we have so far. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, it can evolve during your first turn or the turn you play it. So just think that you are able to play this Eevee and then evolve immediately into Sylveon EX and then fill the board with more Eevees. This is going to be so broken. This is really good. This is a really good Eevee. We also have an Ambipom with Excited Tails 30. Flip 2 coins. This attack does 30 damage for its heads. If this Pokemon has Lucky Mittens attached, flip 4 coins instead. So you are able to deal up to 120 damage for 1 energy. You can also include a Will to guarantee 1 heads. But you can also include Lucky Mittens that whenever your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack used by the Pokemon this card is attached to, draw a card. So yeah, I think this Ambipom is going to be very situational, but it's really fun. I definitely want to try that. We get a new Miltank with Body Slam. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is paralyzed. Pair it up with a Will. It's a guaranteed paralyzed. This is, of course, Miltank is an annoying Pokemon, so it makes sense. Linoon, Jet Headbutt 40. And we finally get an Exploud, 150 HP, Booming Roar, 90 damage. During your opponent's next turn, they can't play any item cards from their hand. So, if you decide to play it with a Ho-Oh, you can ramp it up and you can stall them from not playing the rare candies. This is interesting. This probably going to be very situational, but probably built into a troll deck. I want to try that because Exploit was one of my favorite Pokemon growing up. We have a new Skitty and a Delcari with an ability, Search for Friends. Once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. Nice, so you are able to have another Cyrus, another Professor's Research, another Sabrina, another Mars. This is definitely interesting. Probably won't see much play, but it's a fun ability. A spin that dizzying Headbutt 30. Both active Pokemon are now confused. Swablu with the ability of Sing that you are able to stall the opponent's Pokemon. A basic Altaria, Do the Wave. This attack does 20 more damage for each of your bench Pokemon, up to 80 for 2 energies. Maybe I'm liking the Dragon Altaria a little bit more, but this Altaria is able to heal with Ilima. You can always have this Altaria, deal some damage, Ilima into your hand, place the energy onto a new Swablu, and then evolve into Mega Altaria EX when you draw it and deal more damage. Why not? Why not? New Chatot, Sleepy Song, your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. Okay. Watchog, Biting Fang. Flip a coin if he heads, this attack deals 40 more damage. You know what? I want this, but as Eradicate. This is interesting. Again, pair it up with a Will. You're able to deal turn 2 80 damage with 2 colorless energies. New Stoutland, Dangerous Bite, 70 plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a basic Pokemon, this attack does 70 more damage. 3 energies though, high retreat cost, but being able to deal 140 damage, one-shotting Suicune EX, Darkrai EX, Giratina EX if he has received damage. Ooh, this is interesting. This is probably a revenge Pokemon if you want to focus on a basic Pokemon. Nice. This reminds me of Meowscarada that we already have in Pokemon Pocket, but it requires a little bit more energy. Interesting. I think the other Stoutland with the ability to have your opponent's active Pokemon requiring 1 more energy to attack is a little bit better, but let's see how this Stoutland does. Braviaris lasts for 3 energies, 80, meh. Of course, we have 3 Furfrus with the ability of Fur Coat. This Pokemon takes minus 20 damage from attacks, meh. This Wooloo continues tumble. Flip a coin until you get tails. This attack does 40 damage for its heads. Oh my god, imagine if you manage to kill a Mega Pokemon with this. It's like a baby Celebi. And double Boundless Power, 100 damage during your next turn. This Pokemon can attack. Meh. Maybe you want to only play this Wooloo to maybe get lucky and deal a lot of damage. And finishing off with items and supporters, we have Prong Spinner. A card from among both players' hands is chosen at random. Reveal it to the other player and shuffle it into its owner's deck. And probably this card is going to be the worst card released. Or maybe if you play a Mars to have the opponent have 1 card and then play all of your cards and use that to make him have 0 cards. But it's very situational. Of course, we have 2 fossils, Plum Fossil and Cover Fossil for Archeops and Caracosta. We have Hitting Hammer. Hitting Hammer, flip 2 coins. If both of them are heads, discard a random energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. Okay, this is not good, but you can play 2 Hitting Hammers and a Team Rocket Grunt on the same turn. So you have very high probability of discarding a lot of energies from your opponent's active Pokemon. This Flame Patch that I think is probably going to be the MVP for items in this set. Attach 1 fire energy from your discard pile to your active fire Pokemon. This is going to be very good. Going into Flareon EX decks, Blaziken decks, Crimson Charizard decks, even Turtonator Kiawe decks. Every fire Pokemon discards a fire energy, but you are able to attach 1 energy from your discard pile to your active Pokemon. And even if you didn't discard an energy, if your active fire Pokemon dies, you can always bring 1 from the back and attack. I'm thinking of Infernape EX, that the other Infernape EX is going to be able to attack instantly, even if your active Infernape EX dies. This is going to be amazing probably on all fire decks, and you can also include that onto other decks that may be having a fire energy. I'm thinking Ho Lugia decks or Dragons to have him attack quicker. Of course, we have Citrus Berry at the end of its turn. If the Pokemon discarded is attached to has half of its maximum HP or less remaining, heal 30 damage from it. If you do discard this card, maybe you can pair it up with Crabominable that we've seen before. Or I'm thinking Snorlax EX, so you're able to heal a lot more, maybe until you find an Nilma. Of course, we have Heavy Helmet that I showed you before, Lucky Mittens that I showed you before. And moving on to supporters, we have Marlon, Hala. During your opponent's next turn, if your Hariyama or Crabominable will be knocked out by damage from an attack, it is not knocked out, but its remaining HP becomes 10. So this Hala supporter is 100% chance to get this Crabominable at 10 HP and deal 90 damage onto the next turn. Interesting, but let's see. This may put 2 random cards from your deck into your hand. For each Pokemon you put into your hand in this way, choose 1 Pokemon to shuffle from your hand into your deck. And I think this is the best supporter we've received in this expansion, because it's a very good searcher to find whatever Pokemon you might need, maybe playing 2 Pokeballs to get 2 basics into your hand, and then May to search for evolutions and shuffle your basics back into your deck. This is very good actually. We've already seen Fantina, and we also have Copycat. Shuffle your hand into your deck, draw a card for each card into your opponent's hand. This is to counter Suicune, Entei and Raikou EX decks that draw a lot of cards. And also, of course, Sylveon EX that is able to draw the whole deck into 2 turns. This is, I think, a supporter that we might be seeing in every deck, just like Cyrus now. We have Licia. Put 2 random basic Pokemon with 50 HP or less from your deck into your hand. And I think this is really good to search for your Magikarp or a baby Pokemon. Or, wait, maybe this works with fossils. Okay, if this works with fossils, it's going to be amazing. I don't think it will, but maybe it does. Okay, if this works with fossils, this is going to be awesome. And of course, this pretty much sums up the whole pack. Let me know your thoughts on the new cards. Let me know what your favorite cards are. Let me know if you enjoyed this video so far, not being a deck playing video but being a review. If you managed to get so far, subscribe to not miss daily Pokemon Pocket content, and see you tomorrow.